Hey guys, it's James from Wealthquest. Hey, we got some questions that came in during the government shutdown. Not surprisingly, people were asking, what does this mean? And while we have this little respite from the government shutdown, maybe for at least a couple of weeks anyway, before we have to do this again, I wanted to just spend some time reflecting on that question because I think that really brings to the surface a problem that we have today, in that we are inundated, we're surrounded by people telling us what things mean to us. And so in this state of confusion, and when the crisis was happening of the government shutdown and who was affected, and I don't want to belittle that. If you were part of the group that was furloughed, it was painful, it was really hard. By no means am I saying it was insignificant. But for the vast majority of us, what it really was just a source of fear. And as I think back to all of these events that have happened over the last several years, during this bull market that we've had on the stock market, we've had things like Brexit and fiscal cliffs and government shutdowns for sure, and the taper tantrum back when the Fed started to taper the quantitative easing. We even had things like the flash crash back in 2010. And the thing I want you to just recognize is you probably didn't even remember many of those things I just listed. Because in the midst of them, in spite of all of the people telling you what it meant, telling you how scary it is and how bad it's going to get and how it's all going to fall apart and what all of it means, it actually didn't mean a whole lot. And I think this is going to be part of our human experience now, with 24-hour-a-day news telling us all the time how bad things are, with Facebook and all the other avenues that people have to put these opinions out. There's a lot of people telling us what things mean when they actually don't mean a whole lot. And so I just want to encourage you to have a healthy skepticism when you hear people saying that they know what it means. You know, there's an old economist back in the Austrian School of Economics named F.A. Hayek. I'm going to geek out on you guys for a second. And F.A. Hayek has this great quote, and he says, the curious task of economics is to demonstrate to us how little we actually understand about what we think we can control. And that is the truth. When people are on the news telling you that this means that or that data point means this, they don't actually know. Our system of economics is so complicated. Our globalized trade and all the interactions of all the different forces that are pushing and pulling at the same time, it's too complex for any one person to stand up and say that they know what's going to happen. They don't. Nobody does. But it is that complexity that makes this system durable. It's what makes it strong, because there's so many forces pulling and pushing at the same time. That's ultimately what makes it work so well. And so I just want to encourage you in this season, if we have another government shutdown in a couple of weeks, or we have whatever the next crisis is that we're talking about 24 hours a day, when people are telling you what it means, approach that with some skepticism and just reflect on how many times this has happened before and it didn't actually mean a lot. And it'll give you a chance to pause and just go about your day with a lot less fear. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Really hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please like the page and leave us some comments on things you'd like us to be talking about. We really enjoy the questions that we're getting, and it's been fun to make sure we're talking about things you want to hear about. So we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.